Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher, and welcome back to Not Perfect Zen. I want to start by apologizing for what happened with my last video. For any of you who saw it, it was for this tile. And the problem was I had the name of this pattern right, and that's Slowpoke by Cris Letourneau, CZT. But this one is called Rosehip, and I called it Saturday, which is a totally different pattern on the Tangle Patterns website. And someone contacted me about it, so I took that video down because it's just too difficult to try to fix something like that on YouTube. You have to totally replace the video. So rather than do that, I just took it down. Plus, for this pattern in the center, it's not on the Tangle Patterns website. I found it in Instagram. And I'm trying to make sure that when I do a tile that you can easily find the step outs. I'm also today going to do my best to go back to some of the basics as far as the 8 basic steps of Zentangle. Trying to go back to why I fell in love with it. And when I first started doing Zentangle, I was following these steps and I was doing basic tiles and things like that. So that's what I'm going to do today, and we'll see what happens on future videos. But today I'm going to use an apprentice tile, my pencil, a Micron 01, possibly a larger Micron. I happen to have a Micron 10, which is just really good because it's thick. It's easy to fill in spaces. And the 2 patterns I'm going to do today are Slowpoke, which is one of them that I had in my initial video. But this time I'm going to use this one with it, which is D'Rua by Damy Teng, and she's a CZT. Slowpoke, again, is by Cris Letourneau, CZT. So deep breath, and let's start this tile. I am very grateful for Zentangle and for the supplies that I have. I have a stack of these apprentice tiles, so I thought I would just use that today. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the corner dots. Someone recently said, you know, that the nice thing about the corner dots is part of what they call the elegance of limits. You have a limited space to draw on. And when you put down your 4 corner dots, it's just a relaxing way to start a piece of art. Okay, so I have put my corner dots and my border. And as far as a string, which would be our 4th step, I'm not going to do a string because I am going to let this pattern go across the center. I really like this pattern. Let me show you. This is just a very simple thing I did to practice it. It's just a piece of craft paper that I had. And then I also did it on this piece of paper that I got from a friend, and I just wanted to practice doing a border. And I don't know, I really like this pattern, Slowpoke. So the way that it shows in the step outs is to have double lines here for the border of it. And I'm not going to worry about having perfect lines, but I'm going to go diagonal on here. And one line. This is not going to be perfectly spaced because, as always, we're not worrying about anything being perfect. We're just going to enjoy one line at a time. Okay, so there's our double border for this pattern. And then we're going to put just a wavy line down the center. So it starts out very similar to the pattern mirror. I didn't leave much room up there, but again, as you can see in this one, you know, some of them are really small and some are big, and same on this one. But when you get finished, I just really like it. And I'm going to start over here, and it's almost like doing the pattern snail. And have this come up, and I'm just going to make a spiral, come around, and add a little bit of weight on the end of it. Okay, so I'm going to come down on the one that I just finished, come up, and make another spiral, come back in, and add the weighting. And then we're just going to keep going. Where it's small, you just put a small spiral. When I was doing the previous video that I deleted, I had actually been practicing the pattern that's called Saturday, but I wasn't doing really well with it. I wasn't, the perfectionist in me was not happy with it. And I just had that name on my mind when I did that video. So I do apologize if you went back to find that. I might try the Saturday pattern another time, but I've really enjoyed playing with this one, so I thought I would do it again for you. It is simple to do. You're just going to end up each time leaving kind of a triangle space here. Come down just a little bit on the one that you just drew. Make a circle, spiral. And we just keep going. You're going to touch the top border, and you're going to touch that center wave. I haven't tried it, but I guess you could do this as a circle, like if you wanted to do something on a Zentangle. Okay. And if you've done snail and tortuga, sometimes these are meant to come back and touch, but with this one, it doesn't have to. Okay, so now we're going to flip it, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to come back from this side. I'm going to start here, go up and touch that, touch the bottom, come around, add my weight on the end. I didn't come all the way down here, but I did touch it there. I just have found that I like how it looks if I try to make it more circular and not oval. But again, there's nothing that says you have to do it one way or another. Do it the way that you like it. I kind of worried in the beginning that this was going to look odd, but it doesn't. It actually looks good after you get the next step done. So I recently had my 3-year anniversary for being CZT. And I just feel like I want to go back to the basics of what made me love Zentangle. And I think in the beginning, I mostly focused on learning new patterns and following the step outs and following the basic steps of Zentangle. All right. So trying to go back to focus on the basic steps again. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is to put in this dark area where those triangles are. And they do leave these white spots, but in these small spaces, it's a little bit hard to do that. So I am going to come back with a jelly roll to fill those in. Okay, so I probably won't need that Micron size 10. I'll just fill it in with this size 1, since I don't have a large area. Okay. I am in the Houston, Texas area, and I'm grateful that we've had some rain lately. We definitely needed it. I hope the weather is fantastic wherever you are. I try to do this very neatly, but I am having to work around my camera. So May not be as tidy as it would be if I were just doing it on my own. Anyway, we're just going to fill in these little triangle areas. And it really makes a difference on the pattern when you do this. Keep seeing spots where they're not filled in very well. And it especially shows up on the big screen. Okay, so I'm concentrating. So I'm not talking much. These are really small. It's the first time I've had them come out that small in what I was doing. But that's okay. To me, this is a very organic pattern. It doesn't have to be a particular way. Oops, I think I was off the screen. Meaning it doesn't have to be exactly even on each side. It does not have to be perfect. So that fits perfectly with us, huh? Nothing has to be perfect. Just enjoy your art. Okay. I think I'll just leave that one at the end. Okay. I'll make sure I didn't miss too much on these. Okay, good enough. So now with my Jelly Roll 10, I think I'm going to do this way. I'm just going to put a dot in each of these spaces. And by holding it like this, I'm not as likely to smear this jelly roll because it does take a little bit longer to dry. Oops. Oh, I went off the screen, didn't I? Okay. Doesn't look exactly white, but it's fine. All right, so there's our center with Slowpoke. And after it dries, fan this a little bit so I don't smear it. After it dries, then we'll come back and do a little bit of shading. I'm fanning this to try to get it to dry. Okay, so now I just want to add this pattern on both sides. And D'Rua, or D'Rua, I'm not sure how to say it, is actually a continuous line pattern. Get something to demo that. So I'm going to take my pen, and we start with just that center petal, come down and touch, and then you come back up, touch, come around, touch, and come back down. And then without lifting your pen, we're going to come back and touch that same spot. Come here, back down, and then one more time. And I do not get my lines even, but it's okay. So I really like continuous line patterns, and I think this one will be fun. And then she adds these little flyaway teardrops, I guess you could call it. I haven't practiced this, so I'm not sure the best way to make it look. Let's just start kind of in the center. I'll come out a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to make that center petal. Come up almost to the top. Make another. I don't know what you would call this top. Just the top petal. Here we have a side again. Top. And back down. Come up. Around. And back down. Now, if it's more comfortable for you to not do it that way, I mean, you don't have to do it continuous line, but that's how she does it. Let's see how it looks if we come from this corner now. I'm going to come up, make this one kind of thin. Okay, so we're just going to put 2 on that one. And then just a couple of these. You can have another one that comes right off of these. Again, I have not tried this. This is real time. Doing a tile, unplanned. Just let it unfold. Oops, sorry. I'm going to come off this one and go this way. Start it out in the other direction. Okay, let's do another one off of here. Just make it small. See how that goes. If you're new to my channel, I don't speed up my videos. I allow you to set the speed, fast forward, or use the speed within YouTube that allows you to change whether you want to watch it faster or slower. This one's going to go behind again, and back down. Very interesting. Let's put one up here. Okay. I'm going to pretend that one's going behind. And then bring that one back. All right, so let's just put a few of the little teardrop, almost like flecks coming off of these. And we don't have to worry about whether or not we're staying right on that border. All right. I really wasn't sure how that was going to come out. I'm going to start on this side and come out from this corner. There's one. This one would be coming back around this way. And I think I'll just leave that one. And how about we just come off the top of this one? That one didn't come out exactly the way I thought it was going to, but let's just play with it. No mistakes. I have practiced this pattern by itself, but I haven't tried it in groups like this. When a pattern is new to you, just play with it. Okay. I'm going to do a small one coming off of this. That came out really small. It's not what I meant, but it's okay. Okay. This one. Okay. We'll come out this way. think what I liked about Zentangle when I first did it was I was not worried about the outcome. And even after 3 years of being a CZT, I worry. Especially if I'm trying to come up with a video idea. If I practice it several times, then that means I'm aiming for perfection on the tile and in my video, which is a stress. So let's just not worry about it. Okay, I'm going to put a little one in here. If you haven't watched the video that I did about tanglepatterns.com and how to use that site, I highly recommend it. I have been contacted by people who have been doing Zentangle for years who had no idea about some of the things that you can find on that website. Okay, how do I want to do this one now? How about I'm going to come from the other side. So I'm going to come up. It probably went too high, but that's okay. Go behind. And then I'm going to come out here and go behind again. I'm not sure what to think, but we're going to like it anyway. Okay, so we have done everything up through here. Now we're going to shade it. And I'm going to start in the center. And I'm just going to put the graphite on the bottom of these swirls and try not to put it right on top of the black because it does kind of dull it. So right at the bottom of each of these, and then we'll soften it with our tortillon and it'll look better. Okay, you could also put a little bit of graphite along here. I'm not going to put much. I haven't tried that before, so what if we put a little bit of shading down the center? Okay, and then I have my blending stump that needs to be cleaned. And I'm just going to soften this along the bottom. And doing this gives your ribbon a little bit of depth. Makes it look like the edges are going down a little bit and the top is coming up. And then we're going to soften this graphite along the center line. And it looks rougher on the screen than it does on my actual tile, just because it's zoomed in. All right. For our flower patterns, I'm just going to add graphite at the bottom of each of these, and mostly I saw that they didn't put graphite in that center part, so we're going to go along these lines and add a little bit of shading where these lines meet. And then just soften it and pull it up towards the center. And I'm trying to not have a line, an obvious line. And then pull this around on each one. I have seen where they did striping on these, but I'm not going to take a lot of time on that. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to do that on each one of these. So I have not done any traveling this summer. I was actually supposed to be part of a CZT group in Ontario, but I'm just still afraid of travel and afraid of getting COVID. I mean, it's really what it all boils down to, is the fear of getting sick. I already have a chronic cough, and so I really don't want to get COVID. I'm hoping to travel next summer because I still have the credit from the tickets that I bought. The seminar was supposed to be in 2020, June of 2020. And maybe next year we'll do some traveling. I think these would be pretty if you came back over them, possibly, and of course before you do any shading. Use a watercolor brush or watercolors and add some color on each one. I'm just trying to soften this so you don't see obvious lines. They do show up a lot more on the video than they do on my tile. All right, let's go to the other side. I probably should have played with this a little bit more, for some shading ideas, but this will work. Don't judge yourself, just enjoy it. I'm talking to myself. Quit worrying. I still have a sign on my wall that says, "This is not a contest. You're not being graded. Enjoy each line because anything is possible. One stroke at a time." So I keep that reminder where I can see it. When I was taking a class with a group of ladies, and several of them were undoubtedly artists, and they had been in this Zentangle class for a couple of years. Believe me, I was intimidated. And so one day I came home and made that sign and put it in the front of the notebook that I was using in that class. And my Zentangle teacher, Victoria McMillan, asked me to make a copy of that sign for everyone in our class. So I did. And I refer to it often. And I'll say it again. This is not a contest. You're not being graded. Enjoy each line because anything is possible, one stroke at a time. And that last part is from Maria Thomas. What do you think? I think it would be better not on the big screen. I really like using pastel chalk. And that would have been a good thing to use on this also. But I'm also trying in my videos to do the basic tiles again and the basic supplies. For those of you who are beginning, all you need is paper, pencil, pen, and you're done. Maria in the beginning did not use a blending stump. She used her finger. And I could come back in and probably blend these a little bit more by using my finger. That's probably a good idea. It does soften it a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do that here too. I like that. All right, one to go. All right, let's zoom out a little bit again. And what if, okay, I'm going to take this Micron 10, and if you have a graphic or a PN, if you have a graphic, let's see, the graphic one, I actually don't see one in my stash right now, but anything with a nice thick point, I'm going to, and I just thought, what if we actually put a border on here. And it's going to go behind. Probably come with this. And go to this corner. And I may decide I didn't like it, but this is how you know. Just try what if. So in the comments, tell me what you think. Was it better before or after? Kind of went over far, didn't I? Let's go down this way. I had my border line, but I kind of lost track of it. Oops. Oh, okay. Not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and bring this here. Make it look like I meant for that to happen. And you know what I didn't put over here is these. So let's put a couple of those. Okay, we could even put a couple down here since we have some open space. All right, so we shaded an initial and sign. There we go. Step 8, appreciate again. If you have to, pull the tile out to shoulder length or arm's length, sorry, arm's length, and look at it. Or if you're not sure about it, come back later and look at it. Many times I've done that and thought, wait, did I do that? And then when I look at my initial, I know that I did. All right, I appreciate you guys putting up with me. Hope that you enjoyed this. I like it. I had actually considered monetizing my YouTube channel, but I've decided I'd rather not have you guys have to put up with ads. But I would still appreciate it if you would like my videos and subscribe. And if you would like to support what I do, then there is a Ko-fi, ko-fi.com link in the description. And any support is greatly appreciated. Okay, again, that was Slowpoke and D'Rua. And I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun doing that because, like I said, it was just spur of the moment. Let's do it. And I like how it turned out. I hope you guys have a great week ahead of you. Be safe. And hope you're healthy and happy. And I will see you next time. Bye.